edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And we welcome back yours truly, Anthony Schmanthony. Tony, how are you?
What's up, everybody? I'm super glad to be back. And I'm hyped. I'm sitting here with Brian now. It feels good to be back, Brian.
Yeah. And we were talking before, nothing like a Maine lobster.
Oh, my God, dude. Let me tell you. So I was in Maine, for the people at home that didn't know. First time in Maine, first time Maine lobster. And it's like, I don't know how Brian feels about lobster, really, but it's good. I think people go like way too hard in the paint with their lobster. When we're out to dinner, or when, my mom cooks lobster tails every so often. Like I said, she'll order a lobster tail at dinner. I'll have a couple pieces, and it's just like, it's okay. But like, am I gonna order it over like a lamb chop or a steak?
A lamb chop? You like a lamb chop better than lobster?
Oh,
really?
yeah. Love baby lamb chops too, when they give you that like Dijon crust on it. Oh, it's so good.
I don't know why I can't get there with lamb.
Really? Lamb gyro?
I guess the lamb gyro is okay, but as far as like at the top of the pecking order, it's never really even in the conversation for me. I don't know what it is.
Dude, I love lamb. I love lamb chops. Anyway, Brian. So yeah, I wouldn't pick it over like a pasta dish or anything like that. So of course, going to Maine with my girlfriend, their family, you gotta do the lobster. So I had the whole lobster, boiled red, cracked it open, and I will say, it was the best lobster I've ever had. And I think I was maybe even skewed or like, misled in terms of the lobster, because if you ask me, and I know, lobster tail is like, oh my God, the lobster tail. I think the lobster tail was the worst part of the lobster in terms of like sweetness and tenderness. I mean, the claws, the knuckles, the legs were so tender and sweet. And yeah, I understand maybe the lobster tail has like the most meat in it, but I mean, compared to the rest of that lobster, dude, it's pretty, not as good, I feel.
Yeah, and I have a mindset when it comes to lobster, and I don't know if you agree with me, but pretty much my feeling is the best form of lobster either comes in a lobster roll, some type of lobster pasta, but the whole basic premise, and obviously fresh, of course, we don't want stuff that's frozen, packaged, all that. But the whole cracking of the lobster, while it might be fun for some people, I feel like for me, the reason why I've never enjoyed that part of it is because I feel like it's always a struggle. You know what I mean? It's never like, oh, here's a big chunks of lobster that I'm having. It never goes that way. So that's why I feel like you can't beat a lobster roll. Did you have one roll, or it was just the one dinner with the full lobster?
It was the one dinner with the full lobster. They were pretty adamant about having the whole lobster regular, just like that, because they think that's like the best way, because they think, oh, the lobster roll, there's other stuff in it, you don't want that, you want the full lobster. And I was glad I did do the full lobster, and it was my first time eating a full lobster on my own, with the cracking and the whatnots, which it is a freaking process, and there's water in the lobster still, so it's like you can't really have the lobster on a plate like with other food, because then like there's water getting everywhere, and you need the bowl for the shells. And it's definitely a whole process. You have to eat the whole lobster, and then have to eat like the pasta they had, side dishes, whatever. But you know what? I think it was worth it. It definitely fun taking apart the lobster. And it was pretty funny because one thing I didn't realize you to do as you took apart the lobster was take out the lobster shit. Are you aware of this, Brian?
Yes.
The poop line goes down like the middle of the tail, and you're looking at lobster poop, dude.
But just still like get me there in terms of this lobster situation. Why is it such a commonplace that whoever's having the lobster for a meal has to break it down? Why is this not already set already? Like, is it just a sense of, oh, it's more fresh? But it's like, if they crack it in the back, put it all on the plate, like, it's like, what difference does it make? It's still fresh. Am I wrong? I mean,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think maybe it's the more of like, oh, so like you're getting the whole lobster, like this is what you paid for, sort of deal. And then I guess maybe people just enjoy the process because I think the process is pretty cool. Yeah, I guess maybe freshness, but I mean, literally, I was telling Brian before the show, it literally was like a dock by the house where these lobstermen caught the lobsters, and it was like, here's your money, here's the lobster straight out of the freaking water, dude. It was amazing.
yeah, that sounds so good,
dude.
right now.
Oh, and they cooked it for you too. You could pay for them to cook it, so they boiled it for us, literally like from the water to my table. Awesome, dude. Love to see that. But yeah, I don't know.
Great.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe because they don't want to be taking apart the lobster. I don't know, dude, because it is quite the process.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But all I could say is, I mean, one of those sounds really good right now. What sides did they pair it with?
So there was like a pesto pasta. And there was corn on the cob. Love that. And they were also very adamant about having lobster with Cape Cod kettle chips.
Okay.
Which I'm not gonna knock. I mean, that was a little funny to me, but I mean, it was obviously a great pairing with the chips because Cape Cod, I guess, kettle chips, New England. So there was a bowl of chips, there was corn, there was the pasta. I think there was salad as well. They made a nice salad. So it was quite the meal, dude. Delicious.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's been a minute, so I can't wait to have some more lobster. Due for at least a Cousins Maine lobster roll.
I heard about Cousins. I forget. I think Jay was in Jersey. There was a Cousins truck. I never heard of them before. Are they in Connecticut too?
Yeah. I had one, I don't know, within the last year in Stamford. They were in front of an apartment complex, had a nice hot, fresh roll. Of course, the hot dog bun and, not a huge portion, but the quality is there, and that's what it's all about. Another good place in Stamford, crab shell right on the water. Lobster bisque is so good too. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I had some clam chowder when I was there too.
Nothing like fresh seafood.
Oh my God, the clam chowder.
Are you a whole belly clam guy too, or no?
What?
Whole belly clams?
No, I don't think so.
Do you just not like clams? Like,
no, yeah. I mean, I have honestly, I'm not a big fan of clams. I like baked clams I've had before, but I think clams, I don't know, are kind of chewy, dude. I don't know. I don't really like clams.
If they're crisp, though, I feel like you could get there.
Yeah, I don't know. People have done fried clams or
fried clams with a great tartar sauce.
Yeah, I never had that before.
Are you a tartar sauce guy?
Yeah, I love tartar sauce. And then they were talking about steamers as well.
Okay,
I didn't have a chance to have steamers, but to my understanding, it is essentially a steamed clam.
Okay. No, you know what is really good too? Baked mussels.
I do enjoy mussels, dude.
Especially in a spicy marinara.
Oh, super de mussel.
Yeah, we know Matthew enjoys that one.
Oh, the mussels, dude.
But yeah, this is getting me hungry. Tell me you couldn't eat all of that right now.
I could take a super de mussel. I could take. I guess I'll give me I'll try the steamers. Give me the whole lobster too. And I don't know, maybe some shrimp cocktail would be nice.
Are you someone that can go dinner for breakfast or no?
I mean, yeah, I think I could. If I'm in the mood for something, I'm in the mood for something. Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. It's not like it's bad before 12 o'clock, but amazing after.
Yeah, no, exactly, dude.
That it's just funny but that's just how we're trained. That's just how we're used to. But this food talk is getting a little crazy over here. So let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, nada, where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires, out at first.
There it goes, see ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
Jay Bird.
We have a comment.
Zupa Depeche.
Nothing like a Zupa Depeche, as he says, dinner for breakfast
is insane. I don't know. Hey, listen, dude. Listen. Hey, you can have, breakfast for dinner is acceptable, right? So why can't I have dinner for breakfast? I would say waking up and having fish is a pretty hardcore move. But hey, man, if you wake up, you have a hankering for something, just go for it, dude.
And also, like, for instance, like, it depends how it's presented, but let's just say you had a big portion of penne alla vodka with fresh lobster in it. I mean, you're a little excited about it the next day. You want to finish it off. I feel like that's not crazy, but okay, if you're gonna have clams on the half shell for breakfast, I feel like that's a little different.
Yeah, that is a little different. And also, Jay, don't be like all high and mighty. I've definitely seen you wake up in the morning and have a slice of pizza, okay? Which is not breakfast, dude.
Yeah. There's nothing like the slice of pizza in the morning, especially if it's good pizza.
Yeah,
I mean,
and even cold out of the fridge too. Yes,
you're a big
dude.
cold out of the fridge guy.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? While I was in Maine, I think they had pizza. Either they're having pizza tonight, but I was very much looking forward to trying Maine pizza. But I just never got a chance to. But I was really interested to see how it would be.
I mean, I would imagine they do a lobster pie, no?
Oh yeah, I guess so. But I'm not.
It's too much for you. Fish on pizza?
Yeah, no. Fish on pizza, no thank you.
Not even shrimp.
Not shrimp. Don't
can't
give me the
believe
fucking
that.
clam pie, okay? Don't do it. Just give me. I just want a plain slice to
I can't
try
believe
out.
you don't
know?
like a shrimp pesto pizza. I can't believe you don't like that.
I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy it. I've had shrimp on pizza before, but it's just like not my I'm not gonna order that at a restaurant. If it's there, I'll eat it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to get shrimp on pizza. I've had shrimp scampi pizza before. I forget from where. But it's good. But I mean, I'd rather just if I'm in the mood for shrimp scampi, I'm just gonna get shrimp scampi. You know
Shrimp
what I mean?
scampi is amazing with pasta.
Oh my god! As Jay Bird loves the cold pizza.
We just cannot stop talking about food.
I know, dude. Seafood predominantly too.
Yeah,
Man. Hey, it's
yeah.
the summer time of the seafood.
Exactly.
Let's go fishing right now, dude.
Exactly.
It was funny too. I was asking Anna's dad about like what would happen if I tried to go catch some lobsters.
Yeah.
And it's like he's saying that there's some old law in Maine that's like if you try and like catch a lobster or fuck with someone's trap, they can legally shoot you.
What are we in Texas?
Yeah, dude. They're very, very protective of their lobsters, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I get just the only thing I can say there, and obviously the shooting part is insane, but that aside, I mean, you don't want to be messing with someone's lobster. Obviously, prices of everything have gone up, so you can only imagine how much it is, and it's a complicated process. So I understand all of that.
Some schmo from New York.
But on to the Diamonds. And last night, and we texted about it before the show, Tony. It just was a disappointing night across the board in terms of the Yankees and the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
Similar problem in terms of lack of offense. And we'll start with the Yankees. So they were in Pittsburgh for the first time since 2017. And boy, just watching that game and seeing the overhead camera views, it's such a shame. I feel like just because of the fact that the Pirates are just so bad most years, that ballpark is so underappreciated. And if you could get a consistent winner in there, I mean, I think the place would sell all the time. You have the skyline in the background, the river, the people with the kayaks. I mean, PNC Park is a great venue. No, I have not been there.
No?
No.
Okay. Maybe a little road trip, dude.
But I mean, have you been impressed? Like when the Mets go there every year, I mean, you think it's pretty, scenic?
Yeah, I think it is a gorgeous stadium for sure. But I think I'd have to really go there to really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm interested to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd love to do a ballpark tour one of these days. Just see them all. I've definitely, checked out a good number, but still many to still take a look at.
What's your favorite?
Something about a Yankee stadium.
Is that honestly though, like that you think is like the best stadium? Honestly, you've been to.
Yes.
Really?
And I swear I know, and we could have a whole episode on this. But two things that I will never understand, and I know it always seems like I'm just coming at you, Tony, but the whole like hype surrounding Citi Field and the Mets broadcasting team, both equally are insane to me. I just don't see the special part of either, and that's just being honest. I've been to Citi Field a couple times. I mean,
Mr. Poo-Poo.
What is it to you that makes Citi Field so special in your eyes?
So. First off, I do think Citi Field has better food than Yankee Stadium. I know I've talked about the Shake Shack, but it's not even just the Shake Shack. It's like they have a pizza restaurant in there as well. They have decent pizza in the park. I talked about the filet mignon cheesesteak they've had with the stand. Of course, they have the sausage and pepper stands all over the place. But I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like the stadium itself is so like accessible. Like you can get to anywhere to the stadium from your seat pretty much. You don't have to like go, like I feel in Yankee Stadium, we'd walk around. All of a sudden, you're just behind a brick wall. You have to turn around.
Well, that's just because you've never been there.
No, it's not just because I've never been there. I'm just saying.
And you're
like,
talking about accessible. I mean, at least you could take the Metro North.
oh, but I'm not going from Connecticut. I'm not coming from Connecticut.
Well, you still can't take the Metro North there.
Doesn't matter. I can still take fucking train
No,
into Manhattan and go
everybody
into
likes taking
Brooklyn,
subways.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, subways are fine, dude.
Oh, they're fun.
I want to be on the train with all these stupid Connecticut Yankee fans. They're fake. All right. Anyway, dude.
No. And I'm gonna let you continue, but just
Oh,
one
no,
thing
you're not.
I just need to ask you about, because you especially, I know here we go again with the food, but maybe like in comparison to other arenas, but I feel like in arenas, in fields, in ballparks, there's no such thing as good food when we're comparing it to the outside world. I mean, am I really wrong to say that, Tony?
I think you're false on that one, especially with Citi Field, because I'm telling you, dude.
I've eaten there.
I've
had the cheesesteak.
All right, that's great, dude. The cheesesteak is really delicious. Better
Shake
than
Shack is disgusting, by the way.
Why is Shake Shack disgusting?
It's a McDonald's burger.
What are you
with
talking
peppers
about?
on it.
No, it's the peppers. Peppers. What the hell burger are you
I don't
getting?
know. What is it? The smokestack or
I don't get the
smokehouse
smokestack.
or whatever it's called.
What are you doing, dude? You don't even know how to order from there, okay? You get the fucking creepy.
A burger's a burger, no matter what toppings you have on
it's
it.
bogus,
No, but I'm
dude.
saying the
That's
burger
bogus.
itself is a McDonald's patty, and I don't want to hear anything else. All right, so
I don't think it is, dude. They fucking grill that shit in the back.
oh,
And also, it's cooked to order, the flat top grill. I've seen it. And also, have you tried the black truffle burger from there? Do you like
No.
truffles? Do you like truffles? Truffle oil?
I never like.
Oh.
No. I'm saying I think I like truffle. Like I've had it a few times, but I've always been confused like what it is actually.
I mean, a truffle, I think, is some type of like root thing
that generates oil.
Yeah. It's like you ever see a truffle? It's like maybe yay big, depending on how big it is.
Does it look like a macaroon?
It's all black. A macaroon.
A black macaroon.
Not really. It's more round. It's not as like
Okay.
it's not like a patty. It's like a almost like a tiny, like a ping pong ball.
Okay.
It's black, and you can like cut it, and it has like a weirder black brownish, maroonish inside look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's very expensive. But anyway, dude, Shake Shack is a great black truffle burger. Okay, I've had it at the stadium, limited time only. Great job. And the pizza there, honestly, dude, it's like you're walking into Southport Pizza around here. That's how good the pizza is from Citi Field. Not to mention, you walk out from your seat and everything's all open, right? Big bar over there in the back, giant TV screen, so you don't miss any action at all. It's very much like a great experience, even for someone who doesn't even watch the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a great time to be there. There's like picnic tables and benches all around to be sitting, ordering food. It's awesome, dude. Okay. And not to mention the broadcasting crew is amazing. Okay,
oh my
dude.
God. Oh man. Like honestly, with the broadcasting crew, this is what I could give you.
I don't know why you think Michael K is better. Michael K sucks, dude.
But Michael K could suck, but it doesn't mean that Gary Cohen isn't worse.
Jay Bird says it's a mushroom. They train pigs to sniff out truffles.
But what I was going to say,
Jay's training one right now.
In terms of the broadcast team, I feel like what I could say is, like, I could see, oh, Keith is so out to lunch. It's hilarious. I get that. Ronnie, honestly, could be a little annoying, but I feel like he is very insightful.
Very insightful.
So I'll give you that.
Right.
He knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
But Gary, I mean, sounds like he's had a stuffy nose for 20 years.
You
dude.
keep talking about that, dude. I think you're wrong. I don't understand how you get this nasal. He doesn't
The
really talk.
Mats. I mean, I'm saying
He doesn't sound like that.
he does.
The Mats. He does not sound like the Mats.
Well, I would ask you to play a soundbite, but then I think we might have to go back to copyright school.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. We don't have any more strikes to give here, dude. But come on, dude. And then they get Jerry Seinfeld too to get the calls. Oh,
I like Seinfeld.
Love dude. Talk about being insightful about baseball. I mean,
Yeah,
he could honestly take his job.
he
could
should take Gary's job.
That'd
He
be
should.
unbelievable.
He
dude.
absolutely should.
Who does Michael K have?
Michael
Yeah.
K has David Cohn.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty cool. But then he does the K-Rod cast too, right? Like, oh,
And Paul O'Neill is very good as well.
I like Paul O'Neill.
And I mean, I know I've mentioned it so many times, but I really miss Kenny though. Singleton was unbelievable. Really the best in any sport, the best analyst, play-by-play guy I've ever heard.
Well, he's got
so classy, just knowing his stuff. It's a shame, but who knows? I could see him coming out of retirement. He's done it before.
Is he just chilling now? Is he doing anything?
Yeah, I think he's just spending time with the
chilling.
family. That's what he was saying he
That's
wants
nice,
to do.
dude.
So
That's
yeah,
really nice.
he's a great guy for sure. But after a big detour, back to the game. So yesterday, Yankees, PNC Park, first time since 2017. And you go into this, I mean, you got Tyone on the hill, 9-1 on the season. Struggled his last couple of starts, but overall, great body of work. You're expecting great things. And going against Jose Quintana, I had mentioned this in the show yesterday, good numbers, but a very hittable fastball. So I was thinking, okay, the Yankees are just going to sit on the fastball, hit a couple home runs, and that's not what happened. It was really the complete opposite of, what I was expecting. And you look at, the scoring summary. I mean, Vogelbeck, the left-handed first baseman for the Pirates, a towering blast to right field in the second. I mean, right off the bat, you knew that was out. And then the talented rookie, Jack Sawinski, with a 2-run homer in the fourth. And then former Yankee Ben Gamel doubles to deep center in the fourth as well, scoring O'Neal Cruz, who is, just looking at him, is absolute like alien out there. 6'7", playing shortstop, very fast. So that's a guy, if the Pirates could somehow get things together, you want to keep him long-term and have him be the face of your franchise. You see the fire, the passion that he brings. So that was the Pirates scoring for the first half of the game. You saw Judge score IKF on a single in the fifth. And then answering back in the sixth, though, O'Neal Cruz sacrifice fly, scoring Sawinski. And then the eighth, Matt Carpenter, single to right center, scoring Gleyber Torres. But all of these scoring opportunities, they could have been more, but they just did not get the big hit. But I would say as far as bright spots on this day, as far as the Yankee offense were concerned, Gleyber Torres, 2 hits. I mean, he's really looked locked in, and I think he's going to have some real respectable numbers by season's end. And, in this game, hitting third. Rizzo, a late scratch with some back stiffness, so obviously that hurt them. A guy who's, played a lot of games at PNC Park, being on the Cubs all those years. Same thing goes for Matt Carpenter. He, came in late as the DH after he was scratched. So he goes 2 for 4 yesterday, hitting .304. Absolutely amazing. A guy the last 3 years has looked dead in the water, and it's just time and time again, he gets these big hits and he shows that, he deserves to play every day. So I think coming up, the Yankees have some decisions to make. Florial on fire in AAA, so I would imagine a call-up or a trade is imminent. Andujar has performed well when called upon as well. So you think about that coupled with the fact, Joey Gallo, just really, on the verge, I think, of being traded for anything. The Yankees cannot get him out of town quick enough. Just has not worked out since coming over from Texas last year. And then also I did notice here too, actually, IKF did have 3 hits last night, still only hitting .267. I think he has 9 errors on the season. So it's just been one of those things where, okay, compared to Gleyber Torres, even offensively last year, because Gleyber, was hitting like .230 most of the year, making all these errors. So, okay, he's been an upgrade there. He steals bases. But the whole thing is, and I said this the day that they acquired him, and I know you remember this, Tony, it just was not worth getting him to take on the contract of Josh Donaldson. Talk about a guy who looks finished, hitting .222, slugging .373, and yet they're on the hook for $25 million next season, not to mention what he's due the rest of this year. So it's just like that was not worth it because of the shortstop prospects that you have waiting in the majors, taking on that Josh Donaldson contract. And I just am very curious what the move is going forward with him.
You think he'll turn it around for next year or no? Not a shot.
It's a half a season. He has 6 home runs. What do you think? I guess what would be the percentage that he could even get 20 home runs by year's end? Having 6, halfway through the season. Missed a little time with injury, but
yeah, but even so, I feel to get to 20,
14 in the second.
I don't know, dude. I'll give him like 20%.
Yeah, I swear to God, I knew you were gonna do a 20 for 20 there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. But overall, it's just discouraging slightly just because, that game, the previous game against Cleveland, on Sunday, they had the off day on Monday, only 1 hit. That was a game, they only gave up 2 runs. You got to win those games. So it's just kind of back-to-back tough offensive games. And I know they had a stretch out of 19 out of 20. They had the off day. And then not to mention that, Judge and Stanton are slumping. So it's just a combination of those things. That's why at the end of the day, They did lose 5-2, but still 13-game lead in the division. So it's just nice that you could lose 2 games in a row and have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And that's the position that they find themselves in.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously the Yankees have had, you know, great success recently. I mean, pretty much most of the season. And, you know, they have, you know, the ability to lay an egg every so often. It is tough that they lost to Pittsburgh, but I mean, all in all, I mean, how much damage does it really do to them in the standings? None, Brian.
Exactly. So that's the best part, you know, about it. And
Unlike on the other side of New York.
but I just do think they're going to fix, you know, that bottom part of the lineup. So I think that'll pay dividends because you need every hitter in the lineup when it comes to postseason time to be productive. And I think they're going to do that mostly with guys in the minor leagues, but I wouldn't be surprised if they possibly trade a couple of those guys to get a bigger name, but we'll see, you know, as we get closer to the deadline. And before we get to the other team across town, just a quick pitching breakdown here. So I mentioned Pirates scoring early and often. So Tyone, I think it's his 5th bad start in 6 appearances. So slightly concerning. ERA up to 3.63 now. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks, but the 2 home runs. But then the bullpen after that getting the job. 2 2/3 scoreless between Licky and Aroldis Chapman, who has a perfect 9th. No strikeouts, but no hits or walks as well. So obviously a lot less pressure and going against a team like the Pirates. But whether he's going to be on the team, you know, after the trade deadline or not, you need to have some type of positivity. And while this wasn't a big moment, it was just nice after 3 straight walks, I believe on Sunday, I want to say.
Mhm.
It was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday, part of the doubleheader. You know, to come in and have a solid appearance. I thought that was big. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, Loaiza's return is around the corner as well. Marciano, a dead arm, had to go on the IL. So they're moving some pieces around in terms of the bullpen. They traded Manny Banuelos, Tony, so I won't be saying that name anymore. I believe to the Padres, if I'm not mistaken, or the Pirates. I think it was the Pirates. Yeah,
it was the Pirates.
But all in all, you know, it was a tough day, but you know, they're going to get back on the saddle tonight. You know, we'll get to that game in a second. And then lastly, Tony, as we go to the Mets here, Jose Quintana and the whole Pirates pitching staff really did the job. Quintana, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. So quickly becoming a trade target for teams, you know, with the Pirates scuffling like this. I'm sure someone will want to add them to the rotation or at least for some depth. And I mean, there's another guy that maybe the Mets could possibly be targeting. And you got Crow, Underwood, and Bednar to combine for 4 scoreless innings to get this 5-2 victory. Disappointing loss for the Yankees, but like I said, on to tonight. We'll get to it in a second. Tony, let's talk about Max Scherzer returning in dominating fashion last night for the Mets.
Oh, yeah, dude. So this is obviously a moment that Mets fans have been waiting for a while. And the Mets did a phenomenal job in setting up this game for Max. I mean, they swept Texas, right? And then they beat the Reds 7-4 in their first game. And like Lindor homered, Nimmo homered. Taijuan Walker had a good outing. I think it was 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks. Good outing from him. And I even think like Dom Smith had a good hit where it counted, which is, you know, people are pumped to see him back in the lineup. I'm really not as much, but you know, the team is happy for him. So you come into tonight, Max Scherzer off the oblique injury. And it's so funny because like, you know, Buck was talking about his, you know, pregame routine before the game. And he was just pacing in the locker room. He was going into like the hallway by the Reds locker room, just like pacing, staring at people, doing some weird Mad Max shit. But you know, Buck said he's obviously, you know, prepared and dialed in for this game, and he was, dude. He pitched, you know, 6 innings, scoreless, by the way. I think had 2 hits, no walks, 11 Ks. And he was, you know, more than willing. I think he had a low pitch count. I want to say 85 pitches, 79 pitches. He was ready to pitch the 7th, but obviously, which is, you know, I mean, probably, you know, a good decision, you know, coming off of that oblique injury was to, you know, give him a little, you know, he didn't pitch that much in all of his rehab, obviously. So, you know, I think it was ultimately maybe a good decision to kind of take him out. Of course, Mad Max was pissed. But, you know, you really can't afford to, you know, have him injured again, dude. And it's a shame because, you know, he pitched as a phenomenal game. And Mets had no freaking offense, dude. I mean, I feel like, this is last season again when DeGrom would pitch a gem, and we just have no offense to show for it. And like I said, like the previous game, Dom Smith came up with a big hit, Lindor homered, even Nimmo had one. You'd expect, even the other players, Alonso to get going this game, maybe McNeil to get going, Lindor to continue to have, get some more RBIs or something. Nothing. They were 0 for 9 in runners in scoring position, which obviously breaks down to basically once an inning they had an opportunity to score. And they just could not convert on it, which is honestly disgusting. It was a tough loss. And we talk about the Yankees having the ability to lay an egg. The Mets do not. This was a game they should have won. They absolutely wasted a Scherzer start. And he couldn't even get the win at that point because when he left, it was scoreless, so it was gonna be a no decision. So stupid, dude. And then Lugo comes in. He pitched the night before. He did well. He closed out the game. He tried to close out this game. I think it's becoming maybe a little bit more clear that Lugo cannot be pitching back-to-back games because his stuff just was not there at all. It was night and day going from Scherzer to Lugo on the back end here. I mean, Scherzer just had, I was talking to Brian before the show, he worked on his slider, in his rehab. It wasn't exactly there until this game. And he went to it quite often. His fastball location was prime. He was painting the corners, obviously fooling batters, 11 Ks. But I mean, I think Alonso was 0 for 4. Lindor 0 for 4. I think McNeil was 1 for 4. And it's you can't be just not hitting at all, especially against, I think, Lodolo, right, on the Reds. It was his 4th start of the season. He had a 4 ERA. He was he's a young guy. You tell him you can't hit up on this guy? It's despicable that he's striking you out. He ended up, I think, lasted maybe 5 innings. Bullpen kind of, did the rest for the Reds. But it's the Reds are not a good team. They don't have good pitchers. They do not have a good bullpen. You should be cranking home runs, dude. This should have been a 6-0 game at that point, especially when you had runners in scoring position 9 times. 9 times. I mean, Lindor's had all these RBIs. That's great. But I mean, when it comes to games like this, you have to perform. And they just didn't. And it's it wasn't really a problem hitting necessarily. They had 6 hits in the game. They had, like I said, they had runners in scoring position. They just could not convert. So you were hitting for the game. But when it counted, you were whiffing. You were striking out. You were popping out. You were grounding out. It's honestly really stupid now that, our lead with the Braves is 2.5 games now. I mean, you can't be wasting a start like that, especially when tonight David Peterson's on the mound, which, I mean, has had bright spots recently, but I mean, you just need offense, regardless of how Peterson pitches. If you lose one, he can pitch a gem, just like Max did. You lose 1-0 anyway. I mean, that's just not, those are not losses you could afford at this point. And it just honestly really pisses me off because, and I say this a lot, I've been saying this, how people are, oh my God, the NL East is over. The Mets are going to take it. No, dude, it's not over. Especially now, it's nowhere near over. You know what the Braves can do. They're 2.5 games back from us. They've been winning games. They've been winning games they should win, and they've been, gritting out games against tougher teams. That's what the Mets need to be doing right now, especially with Scherzer back. You cannot be wasting good starts, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough to take. I mean, especially having that type of outing, and you have to be concerned, Tony. I mean, in a tight race, you mentioned that the lead's down to 2.5. You have to. It has to cross your mind, are losses like these possibly going to cost us down the line? I mean, you can't lose games to the Cincinnati Reds, and I know, you could say the same thing about the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I mean, obviously the Mets are in a different predicament here. With a, closer margin here in the division. So, it's kind of interesting, but I guess, you win, today, you win the series. So I guess in a sense, as long as it doesn't last several games, at the end of the day, is it really going to hurt them? Because we're so closely following these teams, and it's just I think that the perspective that we have, and while there are games that you feel like you should win, those games always happen. And you think about it too, unless you're a historic team like the Yankees may be this year, every team in the major leagues wins 60 games and loses 60 games. So it's those losses do have to come from somewhere. It's just tough to see them when there's opportunities where you feel like they could win.
Right. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, the loss to come now in the spot we're in with, that circumstance where Scherzer threw an absolute gem. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. That should not have been a loss. And now, we have the last game against Cincinnati tonight. It needs to be a win. And we have 4 against Miami. And within these next 5 games, we need to find our bats consistently. We need to be on a roll because right after Miami, we're playing Atlanta. We have 3 games against Atlanta. And those right there, if we want to have any type of breaking away of increasing this lead on the Braves, obviously you got to beat the Braves. And of course, as any series, you take 2 out of 3 there, ideally, but you need to take 3 out of 4 from Miami. I mean, Miami could be a little dangerous sometimes. They could split with the Mets. They could steal a couple games from them. So they need to find their bats. Like, obviously tonight is a must win. They need to find their bats sooner rather than later because it can't happen against Miami, and it certainly cannot happen against Atlanta.
One question for you. Francisco Alvarez. Any thoughts
on him being a Met?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think it'd be great. I would enjoy it, but I mean, what are we giving up, dude?
No, not Yordan Alvarez. Francisco Alvarez. You're not familiar?
Francisco Alvarez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Catcher, minor leagues, tearing it up. Just got promoted to AAA Syracuse. But in AA Binghamton, 277, 18 home runs, and only 296 at bats. That's a situation where, especially the way that the catching position has been this year, and even if you want to just stick him a designated hitter, but it's like that's the type of move I feel like it doesn't cost you anything. Okay. I know all teams, of course, are concerned about service time, but you have an opportunity here. The guy, later this year is going to turn 21 years old. Why not just bring him up now? I mean, give yourself a jolt, a punch.
I mean, the one thing that I feel catcher has, I mean, DH has been absolutely trash, I suppose, right?
You could bring back Cano. Come on, Tony. At least a little smile.
Come on, dude. I mean, I would bring him up as DH sooner than catching position because I feel like I don't know. I mean, how well do you think he's going to hit in the majors? Really?
I mean, that type of power, it's going to translate, and it's like you're telling me he couldn't have done a better job than some of the guys last night?
No, yeah, I think so too. In the catching position, I mean, both Nito and McCann have been absolutely terrible at that.
Yeah, so give him a chance to earn that position. I just feel like teams just stop worrying about service time. I'm sure that has to be part of this. I mean, no, I know he's still relatively young, but it's like, do you ever notice though that there's very few guys that get called to the majors like Bryce Harper, 19 years old?
Yeah.
We very rarely see that anymore.
I know. I would say the last one was probably, I guess that guy, the pitcher for the Braves, Soroka, I think, right?
Oh, I didn't realize he was 19. Really?
He might have been 19 or 20. But I want to say maybe his second season in the league. He's 21, right? Yeah, so maybe 20 got called up.
So right now he's 24 years old. So just see this here.
Was he 20 when he got called up?
So he got called up when he was 20, 2018.
20.
Made only 5 starts in his first full year at 21. But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like give these guys a chance at a young age. It's going to give you the best chance at success. And it's just like, you're telling me they're not going to be better than these mediocre guys you already have? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I would like to see him be put at DH then.
Yeah.
Just to try him out to see how his back could be. And, obviously he'll be chilling with McCann and, can kind of learn a little bit more under him. But yeah, he's one of the top prospects in the minors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
who's the other guy? Don't they have someone else too?
The third baseman.
Oh,
I forget his name.
Yeah.
It's like a funky name.
Have you heard anything about him possibly getting a promotion?
No, not at all.
So it just something.
I mean, you know how it is, dude. They're very, very hesitant.
Yeah. And it's funny, my friend Corey, who I was mentioning, working for the Tampa Tarpons now. He's been closely, obviously being the clubhouse manager right there with Jason Dominguez. He's been impressed in what he's been able to do. And even Austin Wells, the first round pick from a couple years ago, the catcher, just rehab there. Now he's on to AA, has really been hitting well. He's been impressed with him. So that's a guy who really, could be an option for them sooner than later. So it's just nice to see some minor league options. It just, no matter what team we're talking about here, There's just nothing more exciting than the prospect of, a top prospect, coming up and making an impact. That just offers so much hope that, acquiring guys, signing guys, it's just such a different feel when it's from your organization.
Yeah, and I feel like, just in general for the sport, I mean, I feel like if people see these young guys being called up, like, because I think the biggest issue with, people wanting to become, professional ball players is the fact that they know they're gonna be in the minors for like 8 years, 6 years. It's like obviously pretty deterring that's kind of the process. And if I feel like if a lot of people see more of these, like, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds kind of getting called up, it's gonna be better for the sport in general.
Yeah, and I also feel like, though, like for a lot of times, though, we see guys like in Alvarez's position, for example, where this year, of course, they're having a season like that. I mean, you look at his other years, he had 24 home runs back in 2021, obviously no minors, and then just not much of anything in rookie ball and stuff. So it's just, I think that teams have no chance if it's 2-3 years in a row where they're all-stars, possible league MVPs, then it's like, okay, they're going to bring them up. But if they're just kind of average, that gives them the ability, even though they know that the talent is there, to really like slow down this process. But if the guy's excelling, they're going to find a place for him on the roster.
Right. Why do you think that they're so still hesitant, though, to bring him up?
Well, also it's just, I've heard this a lot too, in terms of like with the Yankees, for instance, like, oh, why wouldn't you just designate or trade Gallo? Is just because, like, out of nowhere you could have major injuries on the team and then you're scrambling for outfielders. But I still, like I've said many times, I just feel like there's just so many better guys in the minor leagues that could easily outproduce, what he's doing. And one nice thing to see, and I mentioned his name before, Estevan Florial, he's been in the Yankee organization since 2015 as a 17-year-old. So here he is, 7 years in the minor leagues, and came up a little bit last year, a little bit this year. But in AAA, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 10 homers, 29 RBIs, hitting 308. So I mean, you just obviously AAA is going to be easier than the the major leagues, but also 26 stolen bases. It's like I mean, come on, Tony, right? I mean, is there
stolen bases?
Is there much more to say than that? Like,
Nah,
this
bring him
guy
up.
needs to be up. And with Andor, think about bringing them two up. You add that to what Carpenter brings for you. If you just cut bait with Hicks, who struck out in a big spot last night, I think in the 8th inning, I mean, you would just have so much more production. And it's just like, I don't know. I just think too, it's just like, as much as everybody's worried about contracts and service time and stuff, but at the end of the day, is it just me, or making those type of decisions to cut bait, take it on the chin with some dollars will actually earn you more money in the long run, because these guys are going to produce more positive results?
Yeah, I think so, dude. 26 stolen bases, just to have that speed, I feel like it would be enough.
Yeah. And then also, I know like the season numbers still are lacking a little bit, but Oswaldo Peraza has really come on strong lately. With some home runs. I'm just trying to look at I know the fielding, they're saying already better than Kiner Falefa, but right now, his average is up to 242, but he was hitting around like 200 most of the year, 10 homers, and 16 stolen bases as well. So there's another guy that could, bring that speed element, has some power, better fielder than IKF. And it's just like, it makes too much sense to trade IKF. You have Marwin Gonzalez as your super utility guy. He can play short. Obviously, if the game's going to end, unless you have a shortstop, of course, Glaber can go there. He might make 4 errors. But it's just like, I just feel like it just makes too much sense, especially with Volpe waiting. It's just like, I would just, I wish that these moves would be made. But I think the real telltale sign is what happens around the deadline. And I would imagine there's going to be some movement, because in the first time in a very long time, the Yankees sit at a position of power where it's like, this can really be our year. We really want to take advantage of it. So we really will go for it, versus in past years, they're going to be very picky about a package that they're going to give up for a certain player. That's not going to be the case this year. But I would say, unless it's an all-star level player, go within, because I think there's enough down there to help them.
Yeah.
And are you kind of in that mindset with the Mets? Like, you don't want to get rid of any of those guys unless you're getting an all-star level player?
Yeah, easily. However, I don't know. From my perspective, I think there's enough talent on the team right now that should be performing too, that we shouldn't have to go down in the minors right now. But yeah, I would not give up anyone if it has to be like literally like a big bat or a big reliever, and if other than that, no.
But let's say Josh, I know he wouldn't be available, but Josh Hader, you would give up Alvarez straight up.
I don't know.
50-50?
Yeah, that's tough, dude.
Because you know what you're getting in Hader, obviously.
But then just the fact that we're having such trouble at the catcher position to begin with.
You might be better off. But teams don't do that, there's no patience. But I think that would be a home run move. And one other thing I wanted to touch on, you were saying the Yankees, more susceptible to laying the proverbial egg. But if we're looking at runs scored per game. Yankees second in the major leagues at 5 runs a game. The Mets sitting at 5th, 4.74. So just something to keep in mind before we're talking about laying the proverbial egg, Tony, as we get a timestamp in.
I mean, they did lay an egg last night, dude.
But I'm saying, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, do they not?
Yeah, last night they laid an egg.
Hey, what did the Mets do? Literally
laid an egg. Yeah, I didn't say they didn't.
Oh, I didn't say anything about that. So, and then what else is interesting? So we have, Friday's deadline looming. And I just wanted to give everybody
an
updated thing. But let's just say, Tony, it looks like you might be taking out the card for some Sakura.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, we got the doc right here. So right now, wait, what? I must. Okay, wait, give me 1 second, Tony.
Oh no, what'd you do?
No.
What did you do,
I
Brian?
got it. You just got to give me a second. But I want to hear you talk about your first pick for tonight. And also, is it a 4-pick night? It's a 3-pick night. What do we got?
All right, let's take a look here at how many games. Let's see. Today is Wednesday. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 games to pick from.
Oh, and I could actually give you the update here. Sorry, just
okay. What do you got, dude?
So you're 21-20. I'm 28-13. So I think for your sake, with the deadline being on Friday, if it's possible, I guess we should go 4 then.
Yeah, why not, dude?
All right, so lead us off.
All right, I'll lead us off. Obviously, dude, I'm gonna go with the Mets tonight.
Bounce back
spot.
The Mets.
Yeah, big bounce back spot. No way they're losing 2 in a row to the Reds. They have Graham Ashcraft on the mound for the Reds tonight. He's 4-2 on the season. Had about eight starts so far. He's 24-year-old righty. Excuse me. 4.53 ERA. He has 25 Ks, over 39 1/3 innings pitched. Regardless of how what you can say about Peterson, last couple outings haven't been necessarily terrible. His last one was against Texas actually on July 1st. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Before that, against Miami was 7, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. He had 10 Ks against Miami. So actually, seemingly throwing a good ball, getting a lot of strikeouts. We'll have to see that. I really do not think it should be much of an issue. The only thing I could think of is I think, Joey Votto sat last night. I doubt he'll be sitting again tonight. So maybe that could be a little bit of an issue, but I would say the Mets take this one. Give me 4-1, Lindor, 2 RBI double. Alonso hits a slammer jammer, and maybe McNeil with an RBI sac fly.
Score?
What did I say? 4-1?
4-1?
Yeah, I think so.
But I think you said a slammer, and then you're talking RBI, so I just wasn't sure.
It says slammer from Alonso, and
but
then McNeil.
Not meaning a grand slam, just a home run, you mean?
Oh, sorry, yeah, just a home run.
Okay. No, I just wanted to clarify. One name to keep an eye out for, and I do agree with you, Mets got to bounce back tonight. I mean, against the Reds, Ashcraft, and Peterson's look good. One guy, former Yankee and Met, I believe, Brandon Drury, finally
Reds.
Having a decent year. He was a guy highly touted.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees had acquired him from the Diamondbacks and ended up trading him to the Blue Jays in the J.A. Happ deal. But really has never lived up to expectations and finally doing it. And, the Reds obviously need as much help as they can get. So that's a name to keep an eye out for. Wouldn't be surprised if he's moved before the deadline.
I know. That'd be dope to the Mets.
I mean, is it not a good spot?
It'd be great. He has 17 home runs, 45 RBIs.
Could play second, could play third, could play
Yeah,
outfield.
let's
So very
do it, dude.
versatile. That would be a good move for the Mets.
Versatile.
Obviously, like you said, you're going with the Mets. I'm of course going to go with the Yankees here. Bounce back spot. 7:05 PNC Park. We have Mitch Keller versus Luis Severino. And I think the Yankees, and I would expect to. Rizzo, I think it was a minor thing with the stiffness. He'll be back in the lineup. So obviously that's a plus for the Yankees. And I think, you saw Judge have that RBI single yesterday, still struggling a little bit, but I feel like, we're getting there. He's close. And I think this is a game where we see him maybe go 3 for 4 with a home run. I think Louis is riled up and, wants to give the bullpen a break after what happened last night. So give me Louis for 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, no earned, 3 hits, no walks. So really dominating the Pirates. I'm also going to say Josh Donaldson actually hits one out, 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts, but hits a 3-run homer. Sort of coupling that with the Judge home run and an RBI single from LeMahieu. Yankees all over the Pirates, 7-2.
Love it, dude. Next game, I'm going to go with St. Louis tonight. They are on, to my demise, the brink of being swept by the Braves. However, Miles Mikolas, our guy on the mound tonight. And I feel like the past 2 pitchers that have pitched for, I forget their name, Palante, I think, and some other guy, they have like 4 ERAs. Obviously nothing to what Mikolas with Miles can pitch. And obviously the Braves hit those other 2 pitchers. I think they won like 7-2 and 6-3. Obviously taking advantage of those pitchers. However, Miles, I think, is going to pitch 7 shutout innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, 12 Ks, and I think the Cardinals are going to take this one 3-1.
I like it. Good bounce back spot.
Yeah, because they've been on a little bit of a skid here. Their past like 10 games.
A little bit. It's a shame because I feel like they finally had been hitting their stride.
I know.
I'm gonna go with the Astros here. It started out down early to the Royals last night. Bounced back, ended up winning that game, and they're just hot right now. So you ride the hot end here. Javier on the mound versus Brad Keller, ironically enough. And I just think, I could see Alvarez hitting a home run. I could see Altuve with a couple hits. I could see Bregman leaving the building as well. So I think this gets out of hand early. I think Javier gives them 6 strong, striking out 9, not allowing any runs, and Astros, 10-1. I don't really think this is going to be a close one tonight.
Oh, no, dude. All right, my next pick, we were talking about Josh Hader. So I'll go with Milwaukee. They are playing the Cubs tonight. Corbin Burns on the mound. And you talk about a pitcher who's been giving you length. I think he pitched like 7 2/3 innings against Toronto recently, giving up 3 earned runs. And then it was, I think, 7 innings against the Pirates, giving up 1 earned run. This guy can go deep into games, and he could make batters look foolish as well. So I think against the Cubs, dude, I really don't think they're gonna have much of a shot. I would say another 7 innings. 1 earned run, 2 hits. Give me 8 Ks for him. Dare I say a Christian Yelich 2-run home run. I would say Brewers take this 3-1.
Yeah. Yelich leaving the building, Tony.
To the Mets.
So you really want him?
Not really, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the hot hand in the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber with 2 home runs last night. And, listen, obviously, it's been a disappointing year for the Phillies. Obviously, they've rallied, around interim manager Robbie Thompson. But one thing, of course, too, Harper nursing that injury, but Schwarber is insane. You look at, I think it's his last 600 plate appearances. He has 48 home runs going back to last year. So he's just an absolute animal. It doesn't matter what the average is, and it's a lot higher than Joey Gallo's. Let's get that straight. But that being said, Real Muto, has had actually a decent amount of steals. I think he's in the double digits already. But hasn't hit that great. He hit a home run last night. Didi's been banged up. So I just think, they're kind of hitting their stride. The Nationals, are just looking at complete soft mode. You got Soto turning down these contract extensions. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody kind of sneaks in there and tries to acquire him at the deadline and just giving them a king's ransom, 7 out of the top 10 prospects, something to that extent. We'll see, because I just think there's no fight with the Nationals right now. And Nelson Cruz, there's a guy that could be a Met, wouldn't cost him that much relative, given his age and little, simmering production that he's had this year. But that being said, Nola's pitched pretty well, 3.13 ERA this year, going against Josiah Gray. So I think the Phillies get the bats going early. I think another home run from Schwarber. I could see Real Muto with 3 hits. Up and coming shortstop Bryson Stout, a guy I've mentioned before. Could see him having 2 hits as well, an RBI double. So I think they get this handily. Nola 6 scoreless innings. Phillies 8-1 over the Nationals.
Okay, I like that. All right, so for my 4th and final, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going Tampa Bay. They're playing the Red Sox.
Corey Kluber
on the mound in Fenway tonight. And now,
would it be at Fenway?
In Fenway.
I mean, come on, Tony.
I mean, dude, he's in Fenway Park. He's at Fenway Park. What are we doing, dude?
Nah, just giving you a hard time. That was just for the camera, fellas.
Yeah. So Corey Kluber, I know he pitched well against the Yankees. What do you go, like 6 unearned innings, right? Something like that. Whatever, dude. But like, I don't know. I feel like he's a little bit iffy. I think he just got shellacked by Toronto his last outing. He lasted like, I think 3 or 4 innings, gave up 5 runs. However, you talk about, a Red Sox team that have been struggling with pitching. Pivetta last night got shellacked by the Rays. He gave up 7 runs in like 3 innings. Brutal. And then on the mound for them tonight is this guy, Brayan Bello. As far as my research department is concerned, it's his first MLB start.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not seeing any stats.
There's no stats on him. He's 23 years old?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would imagine it's his first start up here for the Red Sox. And I think doing against the Rays is probably going to be pretty terrible for him. I would think, I think Kluber would give me 5 innings, 3 earned runs, something like that. And I think the Rays are going to vastly out-hit that. I would say Rays win this one 6-3.
Yeah. Like the pick for sure. I'm going to stay in the American League East and go with Toronto here, who is really coming off a tough stretch here, losing last night to the A's. I think it was 5-3. Vladdy sat out for rest, and, Matt Chapman home run in his return to the Coliseum just wasn't enough. And if we're looking at this, so they've lost at least their last 5 games in a row, including the first 2 games. Actually, let's see this. Yeah, it is 5 games in a row. But the first 2 games of the series to Oakland, they're not about to get swept here to the lowly A's. And one guy that I know, listen, he might have been overrated, and he almost was a Met, according to Tony last year. Jose Berrios. I mean, it's time to get it together. He's way better than a 5.72 ERA. And the big problem has just been hits, and not missing as many bats, only 67 strikeouts in 83 innings, but he's given up 97 hits. That's a lot of hits. And I think, a good place to go to kind of, get your numbers down is the Coliseum, given the length of the ballpark, the weak lineup that the A's bring out right now. So I think he's going to come back with a vengeance. I think Vladdy is tight too. I could see him hitting one deep to left in the Coliseum tonight, as well as, Matt Chapman back in Oakland. Give him another home run tonight. Bats really get going. A couple hits for Bichette. Berrios, give him 6 innings, 2 earned, 6 strikeouts. And we're going to say Toronto here 9-3 over the A's as they snap that 5-game losing streak.
I like it. A's suck.
What do you think is going on with Toronto, though? Like, why the struggles this year after really a popular World Series pick going into the year?
Yeah, I know. I mean, for what I've seen, I don't know. I feel like they didn't have much issues maybe hitting as much. I think it's probably their pitching, right? I think they've been giving up a lot of runs.
Yeah, Kikuchi didn't have a good outing again last night.
Right.
Ryu's injured as well. But the offense, hasn't exactly been the same as it was last season as well.
No, I feel like Bo Bichette hasn't really been doing a lot.
No, not a lot of power. Average is pretty low. I think it's 250s.
And then even Vladdy, not as many home runs.
Right. He last year was about Judge's pace from this year, and he's just not even close. I think he's got 18 home runs. and the average isn't as high. Also looking here, just want to see. Okay, so right now they are 8th in the majors runs per game. I mean, tied with the Giants. I mean, there's no way that the Giants should be scoring more runs. Even the Mets should be scoring more runs, in Boston as well. I think they're all, even Philadelphia at 3rd at 4.89. Obviously been hot recently, but they should be in the top 3 in runs per game. I mean, there's just no excuse for it. And I mentioned, Chapman, it was his 13th home run last night. Average is still below 220 or around there. Do you think he ever finds it again? I mean, he's struggled average wise the last couple of years. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think he will. I obviously, the power is there. I just think his issue is just making contact with the ball, because when he does make contact, I mean, it's a double, it's a home run, So I feel like once he kind of finds maybe his stride a little bit better, I think he can turn it around for sure.
Well, and the thing, you just think about home runs. I guess it was 2019 is his lone All-Star season. He hit 36, but he hit 249. So career average of 241 in only one season of hitting above 250. So the average has never been that great, but I think, 220 is ridiculous. He's got to be at least 240s.
Yeah.
And, they're hoping for around 30 home runs. He's going to have to do some work here in the second half to get there. I know he did have hip surgery. I don't know if it was last year or a couple of years ago, but I think he's been kind of slowed from that. And then one other thing that, a big reason why he was brought over too was his defense. You look at it last year, only 6 errors in 150 games. And he's had less than half the amount of innings as well as games, and he has 5 errors already. So that's kind of concerning as well. So I think him improving in the second half is vital to the Blue Jays' success. So it'll be interesting to see how well he performs as they move forward into the second half. And I definitely expect them to be in the postseason for sure. But I just think you're going to need more help in terms of the rotation after Manoah and Gausman, who took one off the ankle. I think he's questionable for his next start. But obviously, Manoah has been great, 2.33 ERA. But you look at the rest of the rotation, Berrios 5.72, Kikuchi 5.12 with some injuries. You got Rio on the 60-day IL. Ross Stripling, actually respectable numbers, in 11 starts, 19 total games, 3.32 ERA. So they could be a team that's in the market for a starting pitcher as well. So it'll be just interesting to see kind of how they put the pieces together here.
Yeah, we'll see, Brian. Are you hopeful for Toronto?
Oh, yeah. I want to.
You think they make moves for the trade deadline?
Yeah, definitely a pitcher. I think that's it.
Yeah,
a pitcher, because I think just law of averages, these hitters are going to hit better. Vladdy's a machine. We know the damage that he did last year. So going to be fun for sure. Hopefully we get a couple of New York wins tonight. And really, other than that, one thing I just wanted to touch on, as we come to a close here. Very interesting. I was listening to PGA Tour radio yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And I mentioned yesterday, obviously you weren't here, but Tiger was playing in a pro-am in Scotland, the last 2 days, and shot like 77, 74. So obviously not great results. Did have an eagle, but those numbers, obviously aren't what he's accustomed to. He spoke afterwards and was alluding to the fact that it's possible down the road he might have to have a mechanical leg. So that it seems like he's really struggling out there.
Wait, a mechanical
That's
leg?
What he said. He said, I know for sure the rest of my life I'll always be able to play golf. To what level, how high of a competition, I cannot guarantee, but I will always play golf. And it's like, whether it's my leg, whether it's someone else's leg, or whether it's a mechanical leg. That's
what does that
literally
mean?
What he said. Just like, how like people get a leg amputation and then they do like a metal. That's what he's alluding to. So
does he need a leg amputation, or is just like being hypothetical?
He's just saying hypothetical. So I think he's been struggling, and he even didn't guarantee his future schedule past, next week's Open Championship at St. Andrews. So it really kind of came out of nowhere for me, because I just figured, okay, he's going to go limited schedule going forward. But he's got, some years left. And the way he's talking, it's not out of the question that St. Andrews could be the finale for competitive golf. I still have a feeling that, short of, and even if, let's say misses the cut, shoots 80 both days or something like that, maybe he'll take some time away, but he does not want to go out on that note. So I don't think he's giving up anytime soon, but
No,
did sound a little defeated.
that's
And,
tough,
and,
dude.
and of course, we'll get into the Open next week. But in tune-up for that, they actually have the Genesis Scottish Open teeing off tomorrow. So I think it's 14 out of the top 15 golfers in the world rankings are playing in this in preparation for St. Andrews next week. So this is at the Renaissance Club in North Berwick, Scotland. So like I said, a lot of big names, and obviously the notables. You got Rahm, you got JT, you got Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick, Xander, Zalatoris, and Morikawa, just to name a few. Pretty much everyone you could imagine, other than most of the live guys anyway, not eligible to play in this one. But when I look at this, I just feel like this really sets up for last year's Open Championship winner, Colin Morikawa. I think he hasn't been playing his best golf of recent, but I mentioned, that he did win the Open last year. And I just feel like he's due to kind of get going, because it seems like he goes through these periods of time where we're focused on him. Oh, could he be the next Tiger? He's making history, but then he'll be quiet for a couple of months and then get back on the scene. And I think right now we're at a breaking point where he's getting back on the scene. So that was going to be my pick to win the Scottish Open, Colin Morikawa. And I am expecting also a bounce back performance from Jordan Spieth. I don't think he's going to win it. He's struggled, but resurgent year last year, finally getting another win, I believe at the Valero Alamo. And I think at the end of the day, though, Morikawa will win this tournament. And if you had to give me something, Tony, the winner of the 2022 Genesis Scottish Open is
John Rahm.
your guy. Been a while since you've talked to Rahm.
I know I have, dude. It has. But I think now is his time.
Are you going to be waking up at 3 a.m. to see the Open Championship tee-offs?
What day is this?
Tomorrow.
So 3 a.m.
I mean,
this morning.
you're an early guy.
I was gonna say I'm gonna get up for the gym, so
yeah, might as well.
I'm gonna walk into that gym and I'm gonna request it to be on the TV.
Love to hear it, Tony. And I know I'm stretching it here, but one other thing I did watch yesterday, it was like a rerun of the Wimbledon going on. We haven't talked tennis in a while.
I know,
Djokovic, dude, you saw that down 2 sets?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And I guess he's playing through some type of injury.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact he was able to rally back, we got Nadal, I think, back in action today. And if they both win their next, so Nadal has to win 2, Djokovic has to win 1. They win those next matches, we're going to have another Djokovic Nadal final. And, we've talked about it many times, but it's just this era of players is coming to an end. Federer is going to try to give it a go one more time next season. And that'll probably be it for him. And, time's ticking in terms of Nadal and Djokovic, but I really hope we get a Nadal Djokovic final. We saw Nadal take him out in the French Open earlier this year, so that would be something. But Djokovic, a lot of controversy surrounding him, but at the end of the day, he's very talented. I think I want to say won the Wimbledon 7 times, if I'm not mistaken. But I really want to see them match up because those type of matches, those don't come around every day.
Oh, they're the best in the world, dude.
I feel like I've asked this before. Last question on the way out here, Tony. Out of those, I guess Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and we'll throw in Andy Murray, but I'm guessing he's not going to be your pick. Who have you always enjoyed the most watching?
Now, I'm a little surprised at you, dude, because you asked me this question before.
I think you said Nadal?
No, I said Murray.
No, you didn't.
Swear to God.
But this was
Andy
almost
Murray,
a year
dude.
ago. I think it was last
year.
Year's
Probably
French
last
Open.
year, yeah. Probably.
I think it was our 100th episode, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like, is this because, kind of an underdog, the hip injury?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also just really enjoyed it. I mean, I think he's a great player. He seems like a really nice guy. And like you said, the underdog, although obviously one of the greatest tennis players in the world at some point, compared to the other, people in that ring there. I mean, he was the underdog. And I think he, upset quite a few people in some of the wins he had, and it was really fun watching him. And he's English.
Yeah. I don't even. So he is 35 years old now. And I remember too
I think
when
he had like knee injuries or something.
it was hip surgery,
hip surgery,
replacement,
which was
and
an issue.
in 2013 he became like the first English-born player to win Wimbledon.
Yeah,
I think since like the 20s.
Mhm.
So it had been a long time. So 3 major titles, 13 and 16 for Wimbledon, 2012 U.S. Open. And I just want to see here. So okay, so he made it to the second round this year before falling. Didn't play the French and made it to the second round of the Australian Open. So
right.
with an opportunity at the U.S. Open this year if he does play, but obviously a shell of the player that he used to be.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to see. So has not been to a final since 2016. So it'll be interesting, but we'll see. But definitely we'll go revisit that if we get in the Nadal Djokovic final. But as we come to a close, Tony, anything else on your mind?
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Yankees.
Tough.
No, both teams are going to win. I think we can agree with that.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe.
But that being said, really appreciate everyone tuning in. Of course, appreciate the return of yours truly, Anthony Schmanthony. But we encourage everyone to continue to comment, like, and subscribe. Obviously, check out the archives on our YouTube page, and I've mentioned it many times. Tony in Costume, as well as the summer collection at Downtime TV. The summer collection.
You say it the same way every time too.
It's consistency. No, but it's the same consistency. And I know you know who I got that from.
Who?
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
He does that too. But anyway, everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.